We are underway. Gilpin leads the field into turn number 1, but Silvas immediately down to the bottom of the racetrack in the 86. He takes the lead coming out of turn number 2. Gilpin settles back into that second spot. Dudley there in third, Skinner's fourth, and Preston rounding us out in fifth at the moment. Field entering turn 3 for the first time. A little bit of dust you see kicking up there behind the race cars on the racetrack. Looks like Silvas going to lead lap number 1. Gilpin in second. Dudley, Skinner, and Preston the remainder of the field. Dudley trying to get the 112 machine to the bottom of the racetrack out of turn number 2. Gets a good run off the bottom. Takes the second spot down the backstretch into 3. Gilpin back to third. Dudley up to that second spot. Now sets the crosshairs on the blue number 86. Christopher Silvas with a pretty good lead already. Down the front stretch, about a full straightaway advantage as we completed lap number 2. Still about 3/4 of a straightaway to Silvas as we come into turn number 3. Dudley there in second spot. Gilpin, Skinner, and Preston round out the field. Three laps in the books, 5 laps to go for the Bombers in their heat race tonight. Looks like we're going to be side by side coming into turn number 1. Skinner to the bottom of the racetrack. He takes the third spot away from Gilpin. Into turn number 1. And going to be coming across flags this time by folks. 4 down and 4 to go. The battle for the lead, starting to tighten up as we come to the stripe. Only about 2 car lengths separate your top 2 cars. Silvas in the 86. Barely hanging on to that lead right now. Dudley has closed the gap, but makes a bobble there in turn number 2. Loses about a car length. Good run out of turn 2 nonetheless for the 112 machine. Dudley drives it deep into turn number 3. Closes the gap, and Silvas makes a mistake as well. About a half a car as we come to 5 down, 3 to go. Christopher Silvas still your leader down to the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 1. Dudley trying a crossover move maybe. Now looks to the outside. They're going to be side by side out of 2. Going to be coming to 2 to go this time by. Silvas hangs on to the lead coming into turn number 3. Dudley on the outside of the racetrack trying to make something happen. There's 2 to go from the flagman. And we've got Tyler Gilpin around in turn number 3. Ray Preston follows suit. Looks like both those guys still moving. Let's see if we get them turned around in time for the leaders to come through. Don't think it's going to happen. Preston sitting dead in the water at the bottom of turn number 3. Looks like we're going to get a white flag this time by. Nope. There's the yellow flag. Yellow flag. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a special guest here in the house with us tonight. I'd like to welcome Dr. Brad Hoffman from KRIS6 TV to the racetrack tonight. Thanks for coming out, Dr. Brad. We appreciate you being here with us at South Texas Speedway. Hope you enjoy the show, sir. Got the Bomber heat race coming to the white flag this time out of turn number 4. Still the 86 of Christopher Silvas, your leader. Dudley in second right now with 1 lap to go. Silvas yet to get a win here this year in the Bomber class. Looking to change that tonight. Dub hunting for sure out here at South Texas. People with a healthy lead coming into turn number 3. Slides all the way up the racetrack this time. Looks like second place does the same thing. Silvas going to come to it. He'll take the win in heat race action. And Skinner gets by at the stripe for second spot. Chris Dudley going to have to settle for third. Fourth spot. Green flag going to be coming out this time out of 4. There it is. Heat race number 1 for the Street Stocks is underway. And into turn number 1, it's Lynn Fox on the bottom, but Cheryl Gray with a good run around the outside. She'll have the lead coming out of turn number 2. Look at Michael Pesic split the gap down the backstretch. Goes underneath Gray coming into 3. Driving the 22P in deep, takes the lead out of 4. He'll lead lap number 1. Cheryl Gray in second spot. Lynn Fox is third. Barber, Lesturgeon, and Sturts round out the field. Look at the 22P of Michael Pesic, already about a half straightaway lead, making almost a full straightaway down the back chute into 3. Side by side for second spot, Fox to the bottom in turn 3. Sticking to the bottom out of turn number 4. Looks like Lynn Fox going to have the runner-up spot this time out of 4. Give Jarrett Barber the third spot at the stripe. Barber on the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 1. Looks like he's going to make the move for third for sure. Cheryl Gray back to 4th, but Michael Pesic has laid the keys on the front desk, ladies and gentlemen, and checked out on Street Stock Heat Race number 1. Lynn Fox negotiating the high side of the racetrack right now. He'll lose the spot. Jarrett Barber around for second. Fox seems to see the error of his ways, gets back down to the bottom of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. Not going to be enough. Barber with a superior exit. About a car length between second and third now. Good battle for fourth going on. That is Nathan Sturz on the bottom. He gets around Cheryl Gray for the fourth position. Gray back to fifth. Well, Sturgeon right now rounding the field out in sixth position, but up front, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Pesic with a big old lead over the rest of the field right now. 5 laps complete, folks. 3 laps to go in Street Stock Heat Race number 1. Pesic out front. Barber is in that second position. A good jump back to Lynn Fox for third. Then it's Nathan Sturz in fourth. Cheryl Gray and Douglas LeSturgeon round out the field. 2 to go from the flagman for Michael Pesic. Jarrett Barber, definitely the fastest car on the racetrack right now, closing the gap to your leader. Don't know if he's going to have enough time, though, to make a move. About a lap and a half left here in Street Stock Heat Race number 1. White flag going to be out this time out of turn number 4. Michael Pesic taking the white flag, 1 more lap around South Texas Speedway. The gap doesn't seem much smaller for Jarrett Barber. I think Barber slow through turn number 2. Problems for the second place car. Maybe jumping out of gear. Barber stays on the racetrack, got plenty of cushion. Coming to the checkers, it's going to be Michael Pesic. Barber going to hang on for that second position. Third spot going to go to Lynn Fox. Fourth spot will be Nathan Sturz. Then it will be Cheryl Gray and Douglas LeSturgeon. And that will be the finishing order for Street Stock out of Mission, Texas. And Chris Schaefer, the Red Rocket in the 77, out of Victoria. We are green for heat race number 2. Klein going to lead the field into turn number 1. William Stevens sells into that second spot. Hector Aguirre right now hanging tough in the third spot. But here comes Schaefer on the bottom. Chris Schaefer takes the third spot coming into turn 3. We got a good battle for the lead. Look at Stevens on the bottom. There's some contact getting to turn number 1. Stevens trying to hang on to that bottom groove. Slides Klein at the racetrack. I see a black flag in the flagman's hands. We'll see what goes on. Coming around to the stripe. Still side by side in turn number 3. Stevens on the bottom. Don't know if he's going to like where it goes. There's a black flag. Wag of the finger. That's a warning, not a disqualification. That furrowed black flag, a little bit of a warning there for rough driving to William Stevens. Here comes Klein on the bottom of the racetrack. More contact between the 2. Klein on the brakes hard. You see the front wheels locking up. Klein makes the move out of Ford, takes the lead. That's good street stock racing, ladies and gentlemen. Third spot, Chris Schaefer in the 77. Hector Aguirre in fourth. And fifth spot belongs to Jim Heatherly. Sean Klein now about a car length ahead, coming to the halfway mark. This is going to be 4 down and 4 to go right here, folks. 4 down at the stripe. Sean Klein with the lead. Hector Aguirre pulls the 115 off the racetrack. His heat race is done. Sean Klein and William Stevens had a good couple of laps there. Looks like Klein starting to stretch the legs on the 11K machine and pull away. You see a little bit of a hump there at the turn number 3 on the entrance as Chris Schaefer goes over it right now. Keeping the 77 machine, the Red Rocket, glued to the racetrack, but a long way away from your top 2 cars, Sean Klein and William Stevens. Stevens now a little bit crossways coming out of turn number 2. Loses about a car length on Klein. Klein now sideways at the top of the racetrack, letting it all hang out in the 11K as we come to 2 to go. The 11K of Sean Klein right now to make it about a lap and a half coming out of turn number 2. The D&D Novelty sponsored entry, the 11K from Cuero, Texas, looking real good sideways through turns 3 and 4. Coming to the white flag this time by a rocket ship after last race disqualification on the 11K. Klein not to be denied tonight. He's hungry. Out for blood in the 11K machine. Into turn 3 for the final time. Looking for that dub tonight. He'll get it in the heat race for sure. Checkered flag goes to Mr. Sean Klein. Second spot to a smoking William Stevens in a 13S machine. Getting ready to go. Green flag is out, folks. We are underway. Fred Vanoy with a good start off the bottom. Gonna lead the field into turn number 1. Gary Hunter on the outside in the 14. We're nearly 3 wide. We are 3 wide. 4 wide coming out of turn number 2, and that ain't gonna work. That ain't going to work at all, and that is going to be a mess. Well, folks, we're going to be a minute. The green flag is out. We're underway with heat race number 1 for the limited modifieds. And into turn 1, looks like we're going to be side by side, James Lee and James Parks. Beaten in the bank of turn number 2. Parks with the lead off the outside of the racetrack. Into turn number 3. Ray Shulman trying to sneak under there. Gets on the binders. We're going to be 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. James Parks nearly smacking the wall. James Lee leads lap number 1. Ray Shulman in second. Parks is third. Hudgens fourth. And Chuck Perry rounds out the top 5. Look on the bottom of the racetrack, though, ladies and gentlemen. One win to his credit here in 2017 at South Texas Speedway. Ray Shulman nearly losing it in turn number 3. Gathers it back up, leads lap number 2. Young Caleb Hudgens in the second position. James Parks is third. James Lee fourth. Hunter Flanagan and Eddie Ross with a good battle for 5th. Ross to the bottom of the racetrack in the BD2. Shulman leads lap number 3 this time around. Hudgens still second, and it's James Parks in third. Eddie Ross and James Lee got a good battle going on for 4th. Marcus Maklachek right there behind him in the 9M machine. Hudgens to the bottom of the turn 4, looking to get underneath Ray Shulman as we cross the halfway mark. 4 down and 4 to go in heat race number 1 for limited modifieds. Shulman still your leader down the backstretch. We got a mess in turn number 2. Chuck Perry going for the scenic route through the infield. Gathers it back up, points it on the racetrack. Shulman and Hudgens nose to tail going into turn number 1. The young Caleb Hudgens, your winner last time out here at South Texas Speedway, sitting in second right now to Ray Shulman. Oh, excuse me, with Stephen Whitaker Jr. picking up the win last time here. 2 laps to go for Ray Shulman. Caleb Hudgens 2 races ago on a Friday night show here at South Texas Speedway. Took the win in the number 10 machine. We've had 6 different winners in 6 different races. Are we going to have a repeat tonight? The white flag is out for heat race number 1. The limited modifieds have put on a show every night this year at South Texas Speedway, doing the same right now. Hudgens with a good exit this time out of turn number 2. I don't think it's going to be enough. Shulman is sideways. Hudgens is right there. Checkered flag out this time by. Give it to Shulman. Hudgens is second. Third going to be James Parks. Then it's Eddie Ross and Hunter Flanagan rounding out the top 5. Marcus Maklachek, James Lee, Roland Rodriguez, and Chuck Perry rounding out the field. Looks like Shunka on the outside of the front row. The rest of the field takes the green and we're underway. And Whitmire leads the field down into turn number 1. Out of turn number 2, Kevin Schelling and Logan Shunka got a good battle going on for second. David Shuri, all kinds of squirrely, out of turn number 2 as he's doing battle with Stephen Whitaker Jr. And it looks like the BD3 of Greg Carlucci Jr. Excuse me, that's Lawrence Maklachek driving the BD3 tonight. Maklachek doing battle right now with David Shuri. Stephen Whitaker Jr. in 6th position, trying to get around both those guys as we come into turn number 3. Your leader is still Tanner Whitmire, and Shuri goes around. David Shuri around in turn number 4, gets it gathered back up, points it in the right direction, and we stay green. Shuri probably not going to be that happy with his detour through the infield. Your leader is still Tanner Whitmire. Kevin Schelling in second spot. A good show for the 23 machine. Logan Shunka in third. Lawrence Maklachek is fourth. Stephen Whitaker Jr. rounds out the top 5. Dustin Butcher in 6th, and it's Tom Grothuse in 7th. The 04 of Jacob Burnett in 8th. And David Shuri rounding out the field in 9th. Everybody on the binders through turns 3 and 4. Looks like the 04 of Jacob Burnett leaving the speedway. The fun meter pegs early for him as we cross the halfway mark. Looks like David Shuri going to follow suit. The 38 machine is off the track as well. Tanner Whitmire, though, walking the dog in heat race number 2. Your leader by a long shot in the 101 machine. Schelling still in second. Third spot is Lawrence Maklachek. Fourth belongs to the 07 of Logan Shunka. Stephen Whitaker Jr. rounding out the top 5 of the 89. Whitaker to the bottom of the racetrack out of turn number 2. Side by side with Shunka down the backstretch into 3. Whitaker up to 4th. 2 laps to go for your leader, Tanner Whitmire. And now, Stephen Whitaker Jr. underneath Lawrence Maklicek in the turn number 1. Maklicek battling back on the outside, side by side in the turn number 2. Logan Shunka goes around in turn 2. Nearly missing Dustin Butcher. White flag in the air for your leader, Tanner Whitmire. Stephen Whitaker Jr. around Lawrence Maklicek for 3rd, trying to get around Schelling for 2nd. Whitaker now tucking back in the line in turn number 1. Nose to tail for 2, 3, and 4 on the racetrack. Whitaker to the outside, down the back chute, coming into turn number 3. Looks like he's going to pass Schelling around the outside of turn 3. The checkered flag waves for Tanner Whitmire. 2nd spot, going to be Stephen Whitaker Jr. 3rd will be Kevin Schelling. 4th, Lawrence Maklicek. And Dustin Butcher rounds out the top 5. Daniel Preston from Corpus Christi in the inside of round number 4 in the 6th car. And then it's Joshua Sewell in the 38 outside, and Hector Aguirre in the 115 machine. Actually, that's Chuck Perry in the 115. Green flag is out. We're side by side, about 3-4 rows deep make that. Down the backstretch, it looks like Barry Major going to snag the lead going into turn number 3. Major going to lead the field through 3 and 4. He'll lead lap number 1. Horelka in 2nd spot. Westfall is 3rd. Lesturgeon and Sandoval round out the top 5. Still a tight pack through turns 1 and 2, with Barry Major stretching the legs on the 33 machine and opening up about a 2-car length advantage over Johnny Westfall. Westfall into the 2nd spot. Looks like we're side by side, 2 rows deep through 3 and 4. Horelka settles into that 3rd position. Sandoval's 4th. Lesturgeon 5th. Horelka slow on the bottom of the racetrack. Sandoval gets around on the outside. Horelka back to 4th. Lesturgeon rounds out the top 5 now. She looks to the outside down the backstretch into 3. Mike Horelka, not a lot of straightaway speed in the 19 tonight. Maybe something amiss underneath the hood. Your leader is still Barry Major after 3 complete. We've got 5 to go. Johnny Westfall in 2nd. Jesse Sandoval is 3rd. And it's a gaggle of cars behind them. 4 and 5 now are Megan Lesturgeon and Joshua Sewell. Sewell rounding out the top 5 in the 38 machine. Right behind him is the 54 of Tommy Miller. And that's the halfway mark, folks. 4 down and 4 to go here in heat race number 1 for the Pure Stocks. Barry Major still your leader in the turn number 3. Johnny Westfall in 2nd spot. Jesse Sandoval, though, closing the gap there in 3rd. Looking good in the number 7 machine. The action, though, they're right behind them. The 28 of Megan Lesturgeon on the bottom, hanging tough in 4th spot. But here comes Sewell around the outside. Just as I say that, he takes the spot down the back chute into 3. Your leader coming to 2 to go this time by. It's still Barry Major out front in the 33 machine. Johnny Westfall now 2nd with 3 wide out of 4. Chuck Perry on the very bottom. Megan Lesturgeon in the middle. Tommy Miller going around the outside. Miller up to 5th. Lesturgeon back to 6th. Back up front, Barry Major now with his hands full with Johnny Westfall in the 9 machine. The white flag is out. 1 more lap to go. Major still your leader in the 33 machine. Johnny Westfall maybe getting a little love tap there from Jesse Sandoval in the 2nd corner. Final time in the turn number 3. Johnny Westfall a little bit sideways. Looks like the checkered flag gone away for Barry Major in the 33 machine. Westfall takes the 2nd spot. Sandoval is 3rd. 4th going to go to Sewell and Chuck Perry. Going to round out the top 5 after Tommy Miller's extra lap in turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, green flag is out, folks. Heat race number 2 underway, and Jamie Deere with a great start off the bottom leads the field into turn number 1. Ryan Carlucci right there behind him. Mason Castaneda making his way through the field as well as everybody gets around. Sierra Smith on the bottom side of the racetrack. Sean Ward gets by for 4th. Sierra back to 5th. Jamie Deere going to lead lap number 1. Ryan Carlucci in 2nd. Then it's Castaneda, Ward, and Walters. Jerry Walters gets by at the line by a bumper for that 5th position. Jamie Deere leads the field into turn number 3. We're going to be completing lap number 2 this time out. Deere about a lane off the bottom. Here comes Carlucci around underneath that turn number 4. Carlucci with the lead that time at the line. Deere in second, Ward was third, Castaneda fourth. This is good racing here for the Pure Stockton Heat Race number 2. Side by side for third, give the spot to Ward down the back chute into 3. Mason Castaneda not to be outdone, battling back on the outside. The 28M all the way around the top side, going to lose that third spot. He'll flip back to fourth, but he's not done yet, folks, into turn number 1. Castaneda with a good head of steam, going around the top side of the racetrack. Your leader is still Carlucci in the 34. Deere in second spot. Ward gets by Castaneda for third, but here comes Mason once again. Around the outside, the guy with the best seat in the house right now is Jerry Walters, watching that go on in front of him. Halfway there already. 4 down and 4 to go in heat race number 2. Ryan Carlucci still your leader right now in the 34 machine. Only about a half car length between himself and the second spot of Jamie Deere. Deere to the bottom of the racetrack once again on a turn number 4. Look at him go side by side, folks, down the front stretch. There's a little bit of bumper tag. Carlucci trying to get back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Deere was right there. Deere got the right front cut off. Deere back onto the throttle, let Carlucci have the spot. Good driving by the 15 machine and a good job by the young man in the 34 to hang on to that race car as we come to 2 to go. Sean Ward getting hungry there in the third spot, all over the rear bumper of Jamie Deere. Mason Castaneda now with the best seat in the house, watching the action in front of him. Ward with a good run that time, but Deere just right there in the line. Sean Ward backing out of the throttle down the back chute. As you can tell, the white flag in the air. One more lap for Ryan Carlucci. Jamie Deere this time with a good run out of 4 down the front chute into 1. Carlucci just holding the line. It's tight through the middle. Here comes Deere on the bottom. Too much that time, going to lose it. I don't think there's going to be enough time as we got one more set of corners. Ryan Carlucci looking really good in the 34. A little wide out of 4, but it's not going to be enough for Deere to take it over. Carlucci with the win. Deere with second spot. Sean Ward third. Mason Castaneda fourth. And Jerry Walters. Green this time out of turn 4, folks. 8 laps the distance. 7 cars the field for Emod Heat Race number 1. We're going green. And it looks like we're going to try 3 wide through. Nope. And James Lee thinks a little bit better of it. Tucks back in the line. We're 2 wide through turn number 2. Looks like Sandoval going to lead the field down the back chute into 3. James Lee ducking underneath the quarter for third. Everybody getting up on the binders. Looks like Lee and Calhoun there had a little bit of contact. No harm, no foul. We stay green. Your new leader out of turn number 2 going to be the 4, Dennis Cox. Sandoval back to second spot. Lee is third. McWhorter fourth. Rahi and Calhoun are side by side for 5th on the racetrack. Eric Rahi top side into turn number 3. Zachary Calhoun right around the tires in the bottom of turn number 4. Maybe still a little greasy down there from the earlier splash it got from the limited late models. You see the 22 of Calhoun sort of push wide there at the bottom of turn number 3. Like the nose caught some of that wet stuff and the car just wanted to go straight. Your leader, though, is still the 4, Dennis Cox. Second spot is now James Lee. Jordan Sandoval in the 3rd position. 4th is Dwayne McWhorter, and the top 5 is rounded out with Eric Rahi. Your top 2 starting to pull away from the rest of the pack. Dennis Cox, still your leader. Going to be 4 down, 4 to go this time by, ladies and gentlemen. 4 laps in the books, 4 laps to go for Dennis Cox. We got a good run now from Eric Rahi on the bottom of the turn number 1. He'll take over the 4th spot from Dwayne McWhorter. McWhorter battling back on the outside. Not going to be enough. McWhorter all kinds of sideways out of turn number 2. There looked like some definite contact there. Two to go this time by from the flagman. James Lee is your leader. Dennis Cox in 2nd spot. 3rd spot, highly contested right now. Eric Rahi on the bottom of the racetrack out of turn number 2. Side by side with Jordan Sandoval. Your leader going to be coming to the white flag this time out. It's still James Lee of the 563. 2nd is Dennis Cox. Now it's Eric Rahi in 3rd. A good battle between Zach Calhoun and Jordan Sandoval for 4th. Checker flag in the air this time by Give the win, ladies and gentlemen, to James Lee in the 563. Dennis Cox in second. Rahi is third. Calhoun fourth. And Jordan Sandoval rounds out the top 5. Out of row number 2, Roy Walker and Nathan Rahi. Row number 3, the green flag is out. We're underway. And Brianna Weechie going to lead us into turn number 1. Chopper with not a great start off the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Crystal Smith around Gilbert Perez for third. Smith with the position down the back chute into 3. Perez back to 4th. Nathan Rahi and Roy Walker side by side at a turn number 2. Roy Walker's got a win here in Emod competition this year in the 9W. Your leader still the 59 of Brianna Weechie. A good run for the young lady in the 59 machine tonight. From right here in Corpus Christi, Texas, a bit of a bumpy ride through turn number 3. Pushes wide out of 4, but she hangs on to the top spot. Gilbert Perez a little bit snug that time into turn number 1. Here we get into Sam Chopper with the nose, but we stay clean and we stay green. It's a drag race down the backstretch into 3. Perez on the bottom of the racetrack. Chopper to the top side. Side by side at turn number 4. Give the second spot to Gilbert. Chopper back to 3rd. Still battling for that second position. Sam Chopper once again on the bottom of the racetrack into turn number 3. Taking over the second spot. Perez back to 3rd. Here comes Crystal Smith on the bottom now. Ooh, and it looks like the 17 and the 14 get together. Crystal Smith slides up the racetrack. Good job by Nathan Rahi to avoid contact there. Slicing and dicing, we're nearly 3 wide at a turn number 2. Brianna Weechie still out front with a bit of a tight race car. Through the transition, we're nearly 3 wide at a turn 4. Choppa second, Smith is third, Perez fourth, and Rahi rounds out the top 5. We're all right there together, ladies and gentlemen. One big group going around the racetrack as Perez loses it. Nathan Rahi goes around as well. Looks like that's going to be a yellow. Yellow flag going to come out. Emod Heat race number 2 back underway. And Weechie once again tight through the transition, but the car got a great exit off the top side of turn number 2. She leads the field back down into turn number 3. Still a little bit of a bump getting into turn 3 down on the bottom of the racetrack. You can see it upsetting most of the race cars as we come around. That's 2 to go right there. We're 3 wide down the front stretch into turn 1. Walker, Rahi, and Choppa giving us that show. Crystal Smith with a good run this time out of turn number 2. We're side by side into 3. Weechie still with the lead, going to be coming to the white flag this time by, and I'm giving it the 59 that time at the stripe as well. Crystal Smith, though, right there underneath her, side by side down the front stretch and through turns 1 and 2. This is getting good. Smith with a good run off the bottom out of turn 2. She wins the drag race into turn 3 this time. Looks like she's going to take the win. The checkered flag is out. Yes, Crystal Smith with the win. Walker in second, Weechie third. Then it's Choppa, Rahi, and Perez rounding out the field. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 in the 5X machine. The green flag is out. We are going green. And Gilpin leads the field down into turn number 1, but it's Silvis around the outside once again in the 86 with the early lead out of turn number 2. Gilpin back to second spot. Brandon Skinner on the brakes down at the bottom of turn number 3, trying not to make contact with the 21T. And Silva's going to lead lap number 1. Gilpin in second spot. Then it's Skinner, Dudley, and Preston rounding out the field. Christopher Silva's about a 4-car length advantage already over the 21T of Tyler Gilpin. Almost a straightaway, actually, down the back chute into 3. Skinner on the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 3, right around the tires, looking to get underneath for that second spot. Gilpin going to hang on to it at the line. Skinner still third, 2 laps down, 10 to go. The battle is still for second spot. It's still Gilpin with the position. Skinner in third. Chris Dudley trying to close that gap. Get in on some of that action. Make it a 3-car battle for second spot. Meanwhile, Christopher Silva's just walking the dog on this one. A straightaway advantage, and we're side by side out of turn number 4. Skinner with second at the stripe. Brandon Skinner in the second position now in the 2 machine. Tyler Gilpin back to third. Chris Dudley still fourth. Dudley now looking to the bottom, coming into turn 3, gets on the brakes as Gilpin comes down the racetrack. Gilpin slides up in turn number 4. Dudley on the bottom makes the move. He takes over third. 4 laps down and 8 laps to go for the Bombers. Meanwhile, Christopher Silvas over a straightaway advantage over second spot. Brandon Skinner. 5 down, this time by 7 laps to go for Silvas. The battle once again starting to heat up for second. 2 feature winners. Second and third right now. Brandon Skinner in the 2 machine. Christopher Dudley in the 1-1-2. Only about a car length and a half between the 2 of them. Dudley trying to close the gap coming into turn 3. This is halfway there, folks. 6 down, 6 to go for Chris Silvas, your leader by a long shot in the 86 machine. Well, the car very stable through the corners. A bit of a rough entrance in turn number 3. Been plaguing some drivers all night long. Silvas slides about a lane up the racetrack, hangs on to it, stabs the throttle, powers the 86 machine out of turn number 4. The gap between second and third even smaller now. Only about a car length separating the 2 coming into turn number 1. Dudley trying to get to the very bottom of the racetrack, makes a mistake that time, bobbles out of turn number 2, loses about a half a length. Almost 2 lengths separating those 2 guys coming into turn number 3. It's still Brandon Skinner in second spot. Chris Dudley in third. A much closer battle this time. Dudley, though, again loose on the exit of turn 2, trying to get the power down. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. Skinner with about a car length and a half between the 2 of them still as they come out of turn 4. Dudley with a great run that time on the bottom of the racetrack. Nearly side by side going into turn number 1. Should be coming to 2 to go this time by out of turn 4. Silva still with the lead, pretty much in his own time zone right now in the blue and white number 86. There's the 2 to go. And here's second spot, a straightaway behind your leader, but he's opened up about 2.5 cars over third spot. It looks like Ray Preston has gotten around Tyler Gilpin for 4th. Gilpin slipped back to 5th. The white flag going to be out this time by 4. Christopher Silvas. 1 more lap to go around South Texas Speedway for Silvas in the 86 machine. Brandon Skinner in second spot. Dudley is third. Preston 4th. Gilpin rounds out the field in 5th. Down the backstretch for the final time into turn number 3. A long way back to second. His race to lose at this point. The checkered flag is out. The win will go to Christopher Silvas in the 86 machine. Second spot going to be Brandon Skinner. Third will be Chris Dudley. Looks like driving the 86 machine. Trying to get the belts undone. The window net going to come down. The Same Sport Victory Lane banner unfurled. Sounds like the party's already started down here, folks. Chris taking the window net down, made it look easy tonight. He's climbing out of the race car, ladies. For Christopher Silvas. Chris, man, good job. I hear it's too easy, Drill Sergeant.
I don't know about too easy, but you got it there.
Well, brother, you seriously had about half a lap on the rest of the field, so it looked pretty easy, man.
It didn't feel that easy. It felt like everyone was on top of me.
Well, you drove like a scalded dog around the racetrack, man. It looked kind of rough getting into 3. Did it upset the car any? You looked pretty stable, but was it rough inside the cockpit?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Very surprised about that.
Dude, it looked great on the racetrack. You got anybody you want to thank that helps you out on this thing?
Thank the good Lord for giving me the chance to come out here. Close family, my mom, my dad, my brother Sammy, my friend Oseo, always helping me with the car and everything else that goes along with this.
Chris, brother, one more time, good job. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Christopher Silvas. Green flag is out. We are underway. And Sean Klein gets a good jump off the outside, leads the field down into turn number 1. We're 3 wide through turn 2 with Stevens, Fox, and Pesic side by side down the backstretch into turn number 3. Sean Klein out front in the 11K. He's going to lead lap number 1. Michael Pesic in second spot. William Stevens is third. Cheryl Gray is fourth. And Fox rounds out the top 5. Sean Klein once again negotiating the backstretch. We're working lap number 2 right now into turn number 3. You see the little bit of a bump going into 3 there. Upsetting the cars just a little bit, and these guys really negotiating it just fine. Klein and Pesic starting to separate themselves from William Stevens. Those top 3, though, really pulling away from the rest of the field. Sean Klein still your leader down the back chute in turn number 3. Michael Pesic in the second spot in the 22. Pete looks to the inside, side by side out of 4. I'm giving it to Sean Klein at the stripe. Pesic in second spot, but he's got the preferred line on the inside, and Klein gets sideways through turns 1 and 2, loses that second spot to the lead to Michael Pesic. Klein back to second spot, catches a tire in turn number 3, gonna loop it around, and that is gonna be a yellow, ladies and gentlemen. 3 laps complete, ladies and gentlemen. Green flag is back out. Pesic leads him to it. And down into turn number 1, William Stevens settles into that second spot. Jared Barber is now third. Schaefer fourth. Sturts rounds out the top 5. Sean Klein trying to make his way up through the field after having to go to the back. He's already picked up 3 spots into turn number 3. Gets around Douglas Lesturgeon for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the racetrack. Side by side with Lynn Fox for 7. Give the position to Klein out of turn number 2. Klein up to 7, Fox back to 8. Meanwhile, your leader is Michael Pesic, and he's already stretched out to about a 4-car length advantage over William Stevens. A puff of smoke out of the 13 machine as we go into turn number 1. Jared Barber still second. Schaefer is still third. Sturts still rounds out the top 5. Here comes Klein underneath Cheryl Gray. That's for 6th on the racetrack. Klein to 6th and Gray back to 7th. Sean Klein slicing and dicing his way through the field in the 11K machine, once again coming off a disqualification 2 weeks ago. That young man is hungry. Talked to him earlier in the pit area this afternoon before the races got underway, and he said the same thing. Man, I'm just wanting that dub tonight, and he's looking like he might get it. We're 7 laps into this thing right now. Michael Pesic out front. Klein with a long way to go, but he's been picking off about a car a lap, trying to get around the 84 of Nathan Sturts right now. That's for 5th on the racetrack. Michael Pesic about a straightaway advantage over William Stevens in the 13S. Jared Barber is in 3rd. It's Schaefer in 4th, and now we're side by side for 5th. Sturts to the outside. Klein to the bottom of turn number 1. Makes the move on the bottom of the racetrack and takes over the 5th position. Your leader is still Michael Pesic with 10 laps complete, going to be 11 this time by the 22P, working some lap traffic right now. That's the 4 machine of Jim Heatherly. Second spot is still the 13S of William Stevens. Third is the 19 of Jared Barber. Fourth, the 77 of Chris Schaefer. And Sean Klein rounds out the top 5. Now, Klein underneath Schaefer for 4th, down the front stretch into turn number 1. Klein with the move. Takes that 4th position out of turn number 2. 13 laps down this time around. It's still Michael Pesic out front. Stevens in 2nd. 3rd spot is still Barber. And then 4th spot, Sean Klein all the way from the back. Chris Schaefer rounding out the top 5 in the Red Rocket, the 77 out of Victoria, Texas. Sean Klein now negotiating with the lap car. That's the 4 machine of Jim Heatherly. Not gaining a position is Klein, still in the 4th spot right now. Next car in front of him is the 19 of Jared Barber. Here comes your leader, Michael Pesic, completing lap number 15. Looks like we're going the full 20 this evening. Second spot, still William Stevens. That's actually a pretty close battle there. Barber only about a length, or a couple car lengths behind there in third. Your leader once again, Michael Pesic in the 22P. Second spot, still William Stevens in the 13S. The 19 is Jared Barber, Sean Klein in fourth, and the top five rounded out with Chris Schaefer. Your leader should be coming to 2 to go this time by in the 22P, negotiating with traffic, getting around the 27 of Douglas with Sturgeon. White flag should be coming out this time at a turn number 4. Michael Pesic, several wins on the season here at South Texas Speedway, looking to add another one. There's the white flag, one more lap to go. Into turn 3 for the final time. Looking underneath the BD1 of Cheryl Gray, the checkered flag gun away for the 22P. Michael Pesic with the win. Second spot is William Stevens. Third spot, Jared Barber in the 19. Sean Klein has to settle for fourth. Chris Schaefer going to round out the top 5. Green waves, and we are underway with the limited late model feature. Fred Vanoy leads the field into turn number 1 and loses it in turn number 2. Looks like he gets out of the way. Everybody goes around. Fred drops to the bottom of the racetrack, pulls it back out onto the surface, and we stay green. Gary Hunter going to lead lap number 1. Farquhar in second spot. Awalt is third. And O'Krulik is fourth. Adrian Awalt around the top side of the racetrack picks up 2 spots. Goes from fourth to second. Coming out of turn number 2. Hunter still going to lead lap number 2. Farquhar in second. Awalt is third. The hood starting to come up on the 17 machine. Adrian might have his hands full, but likes the top side of South Texas Speedway. Awalt again, top shelf in 3 and 4, looking to get around Gary Hunter. We're nearly 3 wide this time out of turn 4. Things got interesting early on in the limited late model heat race. All 6 competitors ending up with DNFs on their heat race. It's still Gary Hunter out front. Side by side for second into turn number 3. Landon Farquhar on the bottom, on the brakes hard to avoid contact. Adrian Awalt once again to the top side of 3 and 4. Second that time at the line was the 17. Still Gary Hunter out front from Elmendorf, Texas. Driving the number 14 machine. Oh, Farquhar and Awalt get together. Into turn number 3. Landon Farquhar making the bottom work in the 9 car, but he's got his hands full right now with both Adrian Awalt and Franco Krulik. Farquhar a little bit loose of the transition in turns 1 and 2. Awalt with a great run down the back chute into 3. We've got one clip in a tractor tire. That is the 78 of Dakota Yanez. We are going to have a tire on the speedway. Looks like for now we are going to stay green. Gary Hunter still your leader now. We're side by side for second with that is Landon Farquhar and Franco Krulik. Gary Hunter out front. O'Krulik takes the second spot going into turn number 1. Farquhar back to third. Fourth is Adrian Awalt. Fifth, Dakota Yanez. Sixth is Fred Vanoy. And seventh is Bubba Ford. O'Krulik to the inside of the turn 4. That's for the lead. Give it to Frank at the stripe. O'Krulik now out front in the 99 car. Hunter in second in the 14. Into turn number 3. O'Krulik comfortably in the lead now with about a car length and a half, making almost 3 car lengths by the time we get to turn number 1. Hunter really got his hands full right now with a 14 machine. Through turns 1 and 2. Landon Farquhar is third right now in the 9 machine. 10 laps complete this time by. Should be halfway right here. Franco Krulik, your leader at the halfway mark. 11 complete this time by, ladies and gentlemen. There's 9 to go. And it looks like Adrian Awalt clipping that tractor tire. It is now officially in the middle of the stretch, the back stretch, on the backside. Franco Krulik, your leader, putting a lap on the 31 of Fred Van Oy. Gary Hunter still in second spot. Landon Farquhar's third. Adrian Awalt in the 4th position after clipping a tractor tire, sending it to the infield. Your leader is still Franco Krulik with 15 laps complete this time around. Should be 5 to go at the line. Putting another lap on the 98 of Bubba Ford. Krulik took the lead about 10 laps ago and hasn't looked back. Got about a straightaway and a half over second spot. That's Gary Hunter and Landon Farquhar doing battle for the second position. Dakota Yanez smoking the wall almost. Out of turn 4. The battle now on the racetrack is for second spot between Landon Farquhar and Gary Hunter. With 17 complete this time by for your leader Franco Krulik. 3 laps to go in the limited late model feature. Nearly 3 wide out of turn number 4. Krulik puts a lap on Yanez down the back chute into turn number 3. He'll be completing lap number 18 this time by. Clean track ahead, clean track behind. Krulik pretty much all by himself on cruise control right now. Going to be coming to the white, 2 to go this time by. Yellow flag 4, 18 complete, 2 to go. Franco Krulik leads him to the green flag. 18 laps complete, 2 laps to go. Krulik negotiating the backstretch with Landon Farquhar in tow right behind. Gary Hunter in the 3rd spot. Adrian Awalt is 4th. Bubba Ford rounds out the field in 5th. The white flag in the air this time around. 1 more lap for Krulik. The first 19 were just practice. This one is the one that counts, and Frank made a big bobble through turns 1 and 2. Farquhar not able to close the gap and make the mistake, but we're side by side coming out of 4. Not going to happen, though. Franco Krulik with the win. Landon Farquhar in 2nd spot. Gary Hunter is 3rd. The helmet's off, folks. The race car is off. Frank can hear you. Make some noise for the 99 machine. Franco Krulik behind the wheel this evening. Climbing out of the race car. Keep it going. Here we come, folks. Led all 20 laps. Making it look easy out here on the racetrack. Brother, as you climb out, first of all, let me say, congratulations, my friend. Good job, man.
Thank you, sir.
Well, it looked easy. Did you feel good out there on the racetrack?
Oh, yeah. Felt great.
A lot better than a heat race, right?
Well, I'm kind of tired. I had to do a lot of work after the heat race.
Did the race car feel pretty good after having to go through all those repairs? What all did you tear up after that debacle, man?
Upper control arm, ball joint, wheel, tire, little parts, a lot of work.
It's all the little parts that make it that nickel and dime that time and that make it hard to get back together. But good job getting it back together. Who all helped you put this thing back together tonight, man?
Reflective wrecker, CNC granite signs, C3 speed horses, First Choice leveling. Can't thank them enough. Bunch of good people helping me out here. JGR Racing, man, they're good.
Absolutely, man. You done a great job tonight. Good job, Frank.
Thank you.
Man, Make some noise one more time, ladies and gentlemen. All 20 laps going to the 99 machine of Franco Krulik. Rodriguez, and the 04 is Jacob Burnett. Row number 9, the 115 is Chuck Perry. The 38 is David Shurey. The 2R is Robert Boyd. The green is out, and we are underway. And Whitmire and Parks side by side at a turn number 2. Tanner Whitmire on the bottom of the racetrack coming into turn number 3. James Parks in that second spot. Ray Shulman is third. Whitmire leads lap number 1. Parks, Shulman, Schelling, and Hudgens your top 5. Right now, Ray Shulman side by side with James Parks down the backstretch in the turn number 3 for second spot. Shulman to the bottom of the racetrack. 1 win on the season. Clips a tractor tire. Hangs onto the 2R machine. Doesn't take over the second spot. Has to settle for third. Stephen Whitaker Jr. negotiating right now with 2 other feature winners. No, that is the BD2 of Eddie Ross. No features this year for Eddie here at South Texas Speedway. But the 57 of Hunter Flanagan, 58 Cent, got 1 win on the season here. 3 wide at turn number 4 with Butcher, Whitaker, and Flanagan. Stephen Whitaker Jr. now on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get around Eddie Ross. Hunter Flanagan goes topside in turn 2. That is 7 and 8 on the track right now. Whitaker down on the bottom of turn number 4. Flanagan going to lose 2 spots. Both Stephen Whitaker Jr. and Dustin Butcher going around the 57. Your leader still Tanner Whitmire in the 101 machine. That car for sale, it might go up tonight. Winning the heat race. Looking really good in the feature right now. That car just got a lot more expensive. Shulman in second. Hudgens is third. 2 feature winners right now in the top 5. And in the turn number 1, we got a yellow and green this time out of 4 with 4 laps complete. 16 to go for the limited modifieds. Green flag is out. Caleb Hudgens with a heck of a shot off the outside. Gets around Shulman for second. Ray battling back on the bottom. We're 3 wide at a turn number 2. Here comes Dustin Butcher on the inside. Gets around Stephen Whitaker Jr. We're 3 wide in turn number 3. 4 wide through 3 and 4. Marcus Smackbachek on the bottom of the racetrack alongside Hunter Flanagan and Stephen Whitaker Jr. There ain't room for the Holy Spirit between those guys right now, ladies and gentlemen. Your top 5 look like this. Tanner Whitmire, Caleb Hudgens, Ray Shulman, James Parks the 3rd, and Eddie Ross right now. Your top 5, Stephen Whitaker Jr. in 6th. Whitaker with a win on the season, trying to get around those 2 cars in front of him. The racetrack pretty much blocked. Here comes Marcus Smackbachek underneath the 9M machine. We're going to go 3 wide. No, Stephen Whitaker Jr. thinks better of it going into turn number 3. James Parks the 3rd, Eddie Ross, Stephen Whitaker Jr. underneath on turn number 4. Whitaker to the bottom of turn number 1, swings the 89C machine through. Picks up 2 spots. We got James Parks together, Chuck Perry's together. To the green. Ray Shulman to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get underneath Whitmire. Here comes Stephen Whitaker Jr. around the outside of the 89C. Picks up 3rd spot from Shulman. On the brakes hard to avoid contact with Whitmire coming into turn number 3. Hudgens leads lap number 8. It's Whitmire and then Whitaker. Your top 3, Kevin Schelling around in turn number 2. There's the green flag. Caleb Hudgens going to lead him into turn number 1 with a good jump that time. Nobody got anything for the number 10 machine. Whitmire hangs on to that 2nd position. Shulman back to 3rd. Here comes Whitaker. Whitaker getting around Marcus Smackbachek, going high in turn number 3. Trying to get the car down to the very bottom of the track. Doing battle right now with Ray Shulman for 3rd. Whitaker to the bottom. Takes the spot on a turn number 2. Whitaker to 3rd, Shulman to 4th, Smackbachek trying to get around him, but he stays in 5th. Caleb Hudgens still your leader, Tanner Whitmire in 2nd. 3rd spot is now Stephen Whitaker Jr. Whitaker comfortable to run the car where he wants to, with nobody in front of him really. Not for a ways anyway. It's a pretty good jump from 2nd to 3rd at the moment. Caleb Hudgens, meanwhile, pretty consistent. Just as I say that, gets a bobble out of turn number 4. Still going to lead lap number 11. Tanner Whitmire in 2nd. Stephen Whitaker Jr. is 3rd. Ray Shulman 4th. Marcus Smackbachek rounds out the top 5. Smackbachek that time with a good run at turn number 2. Dustin Butcher right there in second. Underneath Makwachek, there's some contact there. Butcher slides way up the racetrack. Makwachek hangs on to that 5th spot. Chuck Perry gets around for 6th. Here comes Hunter Flanagan as well. Your top 3 going to be coming to what is cross flags? Laps tonight. 4 of the limited modifieds. Caleb Hudgens still your leader. 2nd spot though. The battle heating up with Tanner Whitmire and Stephen Whitaker Jr. Whitaker to the bottom out of turn number 2. A great run down the backstretch into turn 3. Not going to be enough this time. Drives it in deep as Whitmire hits the brakes. Whitaker with a spot coming out of 4. Didn't think that was going to happen. Stephen Whitaker Jr. into 2nd spot. Whitaker now got his hands full with Whitmire, but pulls away out of turn number 2. Down the backstretch into turn 3, closing the gap quickly on Caleb Hudgens in the 10 machine. 15 laps complete this time, 10 to go. Gonna be 16 next time by. It's Hudgens out front, Whitaker in 2nd. 3rd spot is Whitmire, 4th is Shulman, and 5th is the best battle on the racetrack right now. That's Chuck Perry, Marcus Makwachek. Chuck to the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 3. A little bit of a rough patch there on the bottom. Gets the 115 to rotate nicely, but Makwachek hangs on to the spot. Marcus Makwachek and Chuck Perry, the best battle on the racetrack right now, but I don't know for how much longer, as Stephen Whitaker Jr. has closed the gap to about 2 car lengths and brushes the wall down the front stretch, trying to catch Caleb Hudgens. Gets a good run out of 2. Hudgens just got a great run down the backstretch into 3 though. The gap is next to nothing. Whitaker right there on the inside. Nearly clipping a tractor tire. We're side by side out of 4. Hudgens back down to the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Whitaker losing about a car length that time. Dives it in deep once again into turn number 3. Stephen Whitaker Jr. trying to get the car to the bottom of the racetrack. Can't do it this time. Hudgens with the lead. 20 complete, 5 laps to go for Stephen Whitaker Jr. Now about a half a car length separate the 2 coming into turn number 3. Hudgens about a lane off the bottom. That's enough room for Whitaker to get a good run. Hudgens slams the door on the 89C. We're going to be coming into lap traffic pretty soon. Whitaker now with a good run off the bottom. Hudgens makes a mistake and Stephen Whitaker Jr. to the lead. Nearly had a caution. Chuck Perry going around in turn number 4. Stephen Whitaker Jr. out front with 3 to go. And Hudgens this time taking the scenic route through the infield. Nearly loses the car in turn number 2. Stephen Whitaker Jr. now in lap traffic dealing with James Lee as we come to 2 to go this time by. Make it 3 to go. Whitaker now around the outside of James Lee down the backstretch out of turn number 2. Got a yellow on the racetrack. Yellow flag coming out. Gonna have 2 to go. Green flag's back out, folks. 3 laps to go for Stephen Whitaker Jr. On track to become the first repeat winner here at South Texas Speedway in 2017. Caleb Hudgens in 2nd spot. Tanner Whitmire is 3rd. Ray Shulman 4th. Marcus Makwachek rounds out the top 5. Makwachek to the top side of turn number 3. Nearly loses the machine. And it looks like problems for the 9M. Makwachek stopping at the top of turn number 4. That's going to give us another yellow. Features left after this one. Green flag is back out. We are back underway. Stephen Whitaker Jr. gapping the field this time by about 3 car lengths coming into turn number 3. Caleb Hudgens hanging on to that 2nd spot. 3rd spot is still Tanner Whitmire. White flags in the air. 1 more lap to go for Stephen Whitaker Jr. Down the backstretch for the final time into turn number 3. Going to be staring squarely at the checkered flag. Your first repeat winner in 2017, the 89C of Stephen Whitaker Jr. Second spot is Caleb Hudgens. Third spot, the 101 is off. Your first repeat winner of 2017 in the limited modified division at South Texas Speedway is Stephen Whitaker Jr. The whole crew's out here on the front stretch. And the most important member right here, Mr. Austin Witt. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Stevie? Well, first repeat winner here in 2017. There's like all these kiddos here, and I don't want to be in the way of the picture. Let me sneak in right here, man. First repeat winner of 2017. How's it feel to come out here and race these guys? You know you got to race hard, and you come out here and beat them.
Man, it always feels good to win at home. Never a bad time to win at home.
Right? So, Caleb really got a good run out in front of this thing, and you had to run him down. Was it difficult? It looked like it was.
Well, here's how this works. Like, all these cars come out of the same stable, so whenever he comes up wanting some upgrades, we're just going to have to turn him down because he's too fast as it is.
Obviously, if he's that fast without the upgrades, if he's wanting them, you're definitely not going to want to give him to him, that's for sure. The car looked good. Looked like it got a little bit rough there on the right rear there. A little bit of sheet metal damage. Other than that, everything pretty straight away.
Oh yeah, it's just sheet metal damage. You know, as far as Caleb, I mean, this track's hard to drive. He got some ruts on it. He's got, 7-year-old shocks on it. The way we set the cars up 8 years ago. So it's pretty impressive for him to come and, that to me that's a backup of his feature win. I mean, that just shows he can run up front.
Absolutely, and kudos to him to run in second out here tonight. We talk about this all the time. The competition is really, really steep in this class, probably steeper than anywhere else I go. I go all over the state watching these guys run these cars. Here, it is really difficult to win, and we see that. We've had 7 races this year. You're the first one to double up. What does that say for this class of guys out here at South Texas Speedway?
I mean, the competition's tough, especially at South Texas Speedway in this class, but I mean, this is my house. I can't let nobody else have it.
Absolutely, brother. Dominate and win tonight. Who do you want to thank on the race car, man?
I just want to dedicate this win to Bill Newton. He lost a brother yesterday, the day before, to cancer, and he told me to go out and win one for his brother, so that's what we did.
Congratulations, man. Always a pleasure talking to you down here. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Stephen Whitaker Jr. Surgeon and Shiloh Flanagan Broadnex, row 6. Daniel Preston Sierra Smith, row 7. Mike Horelka, Tommy Miller, row 8. And Jarrett Barber by himself in row number 9. We are Green Flag Racing. Jamie Deere going to lead the field out of turn number 2. Ryan Carlucci in second spot. Barry Major right there in third. A good run for Barry tonight, winning this heat race. Sitting third right now, about to complete lap number 1. Here comes Castaneda on the bottom, though. Mason Castaneda in the 28M, taking over that third spot. Major back to fourth. Walters rounds out the top 5. Still Jamie Deere out front. Ryan Carlucci in the second position. Mason Castaneda rounds out the top 3. We're side by side for fourth. We got 2 cars around at the bottom of turn number 2. We're going to get a caution. Yellow coming out on the speedway. We're going green this time out of 4. Deere leads the field in the turns 1 and 2. Carlucci right behind. Mason Castaneda, though, on the outside of the racetrack. Trying to make something happen in 28M. Still on the outside of the turn number 3, side by side with Carlucci for second. Jamie Deere going to lead lap number 2. Then it's Castaneda, Carlucci, Major, and Walters. Major goes around. Green flag is back out. We're back on the way with 1 lap complete in the pure stock feature. Jamie Deere leads us into turn number 1. Side by side for second still. Castaneda, Carlucci down the back stretch. Into turn number 3. Mason Castaneda really hanging it out to dry there on the top side. Here comes Josh Sewell trying to find something behind him. Castaneda with second at the stripe. We're 3 wide for 5th. Sean Ward, Johnny Westfall, Josh Sewell briefly 3 wide going into turn number 1. Looks like Sewell gets the short end of that stick. He slips back to 4, 5, 6, 7 on the racetrack. Carlucci underneath Jamie Deere on a 4. Not enough to be ahead at the line. Deere still your leader. gets slid up the racetrack now. Carlucci on the bottom. Castaneda to the outside. We're 3 wide down the back chute. Into turn number 3. This is going to get interesting. Carlucci, your leader. On the bottom of turn number 4. 3 wide again behind him. Sean Ward, Jamie Deere, Mason Castaneda down the front stretch, 3 wide. Deere loses 3 spots. That lap goes back to 4th. Now he's underneath Sean Ward into turn number 2. Down the back stretch into turn 3. Carlucci still your leader. Castaneda up to 2nd. Sean Ward is 3rd. Hanging on to it. He's going to take 2nd at the line. 5 laps complete, ladies and gentlemen. Side by side for 2nd spot. Sean Ward, Mason Castaneda got a good run going right now. Best battle on the racetrack for sure. Another side-by-side battle for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th on the racetrack. Josh Sewell and Shiloh Broadnax side-by-side there for a little bit. Sean Ward now underneath Ryan Carlucci for the lead down the back chute to 3. Ward to the front into turn number 3. Carlucci back to 2nd. Sean Ward out front in the 889. We've got 7 laps complete. Ryan Carlucci back to 2nd. Mason Castaneda is 3rd. Jamie Deere in 4th. Johnny Westfall rounds out the top 5. Jerry Walters making his way up through the field after having to go to the rear. Gets around Broadnax on the racetrack. Looks like Shiloh having some issues with the 58 machine. Slow around the top side of the racetrack. I'm thinking a right front flat on the 58 car. Side by side for 2nd now. Castaneda and Carlucci into turn number 1. Door banging through turns 1 and 2 as Broadnax leaves the racetrack in the 58. Give the spot to Castaneda off the bottom of turn 2. Drags Carlucci down the back stretch into turn 3 and takes the 2nd position away. Carlucci now trying the crossover move. Not going to happen on turn number 4. Halfway there, folks. 10 down and 10 to go. Sean Ward still your leader. Mason Castaneda right there behind him. Only a couple of car lengths back in 2nd spot. Ryan Carlucci is another car length behind in 3rd. Those top 3 pretty much you can throw a blanket over them in the turns. Now we start to spread out just a little bit down the backstretch into turn number 3. Castaneda driving the 28M in deep into turn 3. Gets a push coming out of 4, but hangs onto the spot. Carlucci unable to capitalize. Deere running a distant 4th, and then it's an even bigger jump back to Josh Sewell in the 5th position. Johnny Westfall is 6th right now. Sandoval in the 7th position, and Jerry Walters has made his way back up to 8th. Sean Ward and Mason Castaneda still got a great battle going on for the lead. Castaneda closes really tight in the corners. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, nearly on the rear bumper of Sean Ward, and Ward with a great exit off the Ford. Dragging the lead out down the straightaways. Here's Castaneda though. Got a wheel underneath out of 2. A good run off the bottom for the young man. Castaneda once again tries the inside in turn number 3. On the very, very bottom of the racetrack, right around the tires. I don't know if there's contact or not. It's difficult to see. Getting around the lap car of Mike Horelka. Ward definitely got some issues. The car pushing wide. Castaneda's right there underneath. Both cars touch. They maintain their positions. Good driving by both those drivers. Ward with his hands full right now, and this is just let Carlucci catch back up to the both of them. Ryan Carlucci has now made this a 3-car battle for the lead. They are literally bumper to bumper through turns 1 and 2 as Tommy Miller goes around in turn 2. "17 laps complete this time by, ladies and gentlemen. 3 to go for Sean Ward. Mason Castaneda still in 2nd spot. Ryan Carlucci still 3rd. Once again, we're bumper to bumper to bumper. Gonna be 2 to go this time by. Castaneda underneath once again. There's some definite bumping and rubbing going on right there. Both guys able to hang on to it as Sean Ward comes to 2 to go. Castaneda with a faster car, I believe, just can't find his way around. There's a shot in the shorts for sure. Ward doggedly hanging on to that lead right now. Going to be coming to the white flag this time out of fourth. This is great stock car racing. South Texas Speedway. The white flag is in the air. One lap for Sean Ward. Side by side now with a lap car. That's Tommy Miller in the 54 machine. He's a lap down. Castaneda comes in. Megan Musturgeon in the front. Checkered flag going to be in the air. Who's it going to be? There's contact again. Castaneda clips a tire, but Ward with the win. Castaneda in second. Ryan Carlucci is third. Here's the battle for fourth. Give it to Josh Sewell. Jamie Deere going to round out the top five.
Here, I'll give you a hug too.
3 in a row for this guy right here. Sean Ward making it happen tonight. The three-peat. Well, first of all, great job, man. You and Mason and Ryan. Seriously, man, that was a hell of a show.
Oh, it felt like it. Mason kept bumping me. I knew he was there, but just so everybody knows, I had to break the cycle because I ain't won a race since my wife's been here.
Well, now we got it figured out, man. I tell you what, once again, that was a heck of a show there. You said Mason bumping and rubbing, and we could see it. Is that just fun, or are you getting tired of it?
Oh, no, it's fun because it lets you know they're there and you can't slow down.
Now, there's a couple of times coming out of two, he got a wheel underneath you, maybe a little bit more than the bumper, and you held on to it. There was one spectacular run out of two. You're completely sideways. Mason's right there. He does the wise thing and backs out of it, so you don't both go around. That was the best racing of the night, as far as I'm concerned. Was it as much fun to do it as it was to watch?
Oh, it was a blast. I'm just glad he let out because we both would have ended up in the infield.
Yeah, it got real hairy there for a moment, but he let it out. Y'all had a good show. He got second. Congratulations to him, but man, 3 in a row for you, brother. Who do you want to thank on this thing?
I got to thank my wife, kids, family, Stephen Whitaker Sr., Jr., and everybody in the stands. I mean, without y'all, we wouldn't be doing this.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Make some noise. Sean Ward making it 3 in a row tonight. I mean, Zach Courtney in the C76. The green is out. We are underway. And almost a tangle there on the front stretch going into turn number 1. There's still some bumping and banging going on, but it looks like Sam Chapa going to come out of turn 2 with the lead. He'll lead the field down into turn number 3. Sandoval in second spot. Cox right underneath in the third position. James Lee in fourth. And Zachary Calhoun rounds out the top 5. Sam Chapa leads lap number 1, also leads the field through turns 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, got about a 3-car length advantage over Sandoval in the second spot. Good run for Sam Chapa tonight. The 14 machine looking really good. James Lee now underneath Sandoval for second. He'll make the move going into turn number 1. Lee up to second, Sandoval back to third. Dennis Cox in fourth. Zach Calhoun rounds out the top 5. Couple other cars to watch coming up in the field. Eric Rahi in the 5A and Roy Walker in the 9W. Sam Champa still your leader, but he's got his hands full now with James Lee. Lee got 1 win on the season in Emod competition. Picking up the Friday night portion of the Memorial Day Spectacular 2 weeks ago. Lee sets up the exit of turn number 4, still can't quite seal the deal and take the lead away from Sam Chapa. 5 laps complete, 15 laps to go. Chapa and Lee have really separated themselves from the rest of the field. It's a good jump back to Jordan Sandoval. Dennis Cox and Zachary Calhoun round out the top 5 still. James Lee looking underneath Sam Chapa out of turn 4. Can't quite make the move. Got a yellow on the racetrack. Got 2 cars around in turn number 4. That's the Z7. Green flag is out. We're back underway with 6 laps complete, 14 laps to go. Choppa leads him down the backstretch into turn number 3. James Lee in second spot, coming out of 4. Sandoval is third. We're 3 wide with Roy Walker, Dennis Cox, and the Rahi brothers. Roy Walker got a good run out of turn number 2 that time underneath Sandoval going into 3. Walker battling it out with Sandoval for third, takes the position. Sandoval back to 4th. It's Nathan Rahi in 5th, Eric Rahi in 6th. Got a good battle shaping up for the lead. Sam Choppa nearly losing it coming out of turn number 2. James Lee right there behind him, unable to capitalize on the mistake. Going to be 9 laps complete this time around. Choppa to the very top of the racetrack. Going to lose the lead. James Lee takes it out of 4th. Lee got 1 win on the season here at South Texas Speedway in Emod competition. Choppa in second. Roy Walker also has a win this year in the 9 car. Lee going top shelf out of 4th. Hangs on to the lead for the moment. Roy Walker got another good run, this time out of turn number 2, down underneath Sam Choppa. That's for second. We are yellow on the racetrack, folks. Green flag waves, we're halfway home, 10 down and 10 to go. James Lee leads him into turn number 1. And Roy Walker around the outside. Side by side with Sam Choppa through turn number 2. Oh, there's some contact. Looks like Choppa goes around. Walker going to hang on to the race car. And Zach Courtney going to be flag this time out of 4. James Lee going to lead him out of turn number 4. Going to lead lap number 11 with Nathan Rahi this time in second spot. Roy Walker, in the 3rd position. Dennis Cox in 4th, and Jordan Sandoval rounds out the top 5. Lee goes high this time out of 4, nearly loses the lead to Nathan Rahi. Rahi right there on the 25R. Closes the gap to next to nothing. Nearly a drag race down the back chute into 3. James Lee stretching the lead out just a little bit. The car very bad through the transition. We've got a car around on the back stretch. Another yellow flag will come out. We're out. 12 laps complete, 8 laps to go. James Lee brings him to it. Nathan Rahi looking to the inside of turn number 3. Side by side through 3 out of 4. James Lee going to hang on to it this time. Rahi with a good look inside though. Down the front stretch into turn number 1. Nathan Rahi about the middle of the racetrack right behind your leader, James Lee. Those two separating themselves from Roy Walker and the rest of the pack. Rahi once again to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get a run out of 4. Not going to happen this time, but we're side by side down the front stretch into turn number 1. Rahi with a good run that time off the bottom. Lee tries to close the door, but gets a good run off the top side instead. Down the front stretch into turn number 3. Back stretch into turn 3. Rahi this time with a bad push off the bottom of the racetrack. Yellow flag on the racetrack. Yellow flag on the racetrack. Your top 10. Green flag is out. We are underway. James Lee going to lead lap number 16 this time around. Right behind him, though, hot on his heels in the 25. That is Nathan Rahi. About a car length advantage going into turn number 1. Rahi trying to close the gap. Here comes Roy Walker. 1 win on the season for Walker. 1 win on the season for James Lee so far. Going to be 2 to go this time at the stripe. Make it 3 to go this time at the stripe. This time around, here's your 2 to go from the flagman for James Lee, the 563. Looking for win number 2 on the season here at South Texas Speedway. We've got Gilbert Perez III sitting patiently at the bottom of the backstretch. And there's a caution flag. Ken Hobbs needs you to the press box, please, sir. Ken Hobbs, come on into the press box, please, sir. Green flag is out. We're back underway. Lee going to lead the field back down in the turns number 1 and 2. Here comes Nathan Rahi on the bottom, though. Good run out of turn number 2, side by side into 3. There's some contact there. Lee nearly goes around. Here comes Walker to the white flag. Walker goes around. Oh, and Nathan Rahi and James Lee driving over one another on the front stretch. Both cars still moving down the back chute for the final time into turn number 3. James Lee looking to take the win. Yes, indeed, he will. A repeat winner in our Emods as well. James Lee takes the win. Nathan Rahi in second spot. Zachary Calhoun comes across the line in third.